All right, so we are live. What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? Yeah, spirit fingers. Welcome to the BCC show with your host, Buffy, and co-host, Coach Chemo. Tonight we have a guest with us, Miss Ardia. And today we are celebrating or not celebrating Valentine's Day. So we're gonna get into it with our topic that we have for tonight. So Coach Chemo, start us off.
And let me go ahead and say, hey, what's up, everybody, and happy Valentine's Day. And for all of my Jamaican them out there, happy Valentine's Day, baby. Singles, married, or cheating alike. Happy Valentine's Day. And for all of the side people, tomorrow I'll stay with you. I mean, be there, stay with you. Happy Valentine's Day. But to go ahead and kick the show off, we're going to talk about, some good, some bad, and give a few dating tips in between. But before we jump into the topic, so ladies, I have a question for both of you.
Yes.
Before we jumped into our segment today.
Wait a minute. Ardia didn't say hi to the people. Ardia, go ahead and say hi to the people before we jump into.
Hi, people.
As I was saying, because
Yes.
we're going to introduce Ardia more as time to come. What I wanted to ask both of you is, I said earlier that OMG, both of you guys are on top and I'm at the bottom. So I was like, you guys are going to have to be my top tonight. And what did you say, Ardia?
I totally forgot.
See?
Oh, I said it's the first time for everything.
Now that brings me to my question. Would either of you date a guy that wants you all to fuck him with a strap on?
No. No.
Okay.
Buffy, what you doing? You pouring a drink?
I have to
And I gotta
refresh
take a
my
sip of
drink
that
because that's a deep one. That is actually a deep decision, and I don't know if I feel comfortable with that.
Okay, so to be clear, both, and again, it's okay. But to be clear, both of y'all are saying y'all is in a relationship 5 years in, not just someone you just met, but there's a little bit of context, and they say, baby, for Valentine's Day, I'm not gonna go out there, have nobody climb on me or any of this, but could you do the strap and how does it go? And this is a real question I've been asking because for people that watch a little porn, you be seeing a lot of that these days. And at first, the Black brothers wasn't showing up a lot, but they is there with the sisters. Just like the sisters eating their boys' cootie cat cake. So,
Listen, if me and you are together and you tell me on big Valentine's Day you want me to strap you, it's giving gay. It's giving gay. Like, just tell me you don't want to be with me no more,
Right.
and you want a man because
Right.
that's what it's giving, or you want a feminine type of man, a metrosexual man to have sex with you because that's what you're telling me. No, sorry.
Yeah, it's just a straight hard no. There's no explanations in between it. If you want to strap on, by all means, the door is right there. You could just close it. I'll lock it behind you. It's okay. It's a hard no. We're not doing that. We're not. Mm-mm.
well, for me, that sounds like a verse gay relationship. One give it, one take it, and tonight we go switch it up.
Listen.
Now, that brings me to our next segment. I'm curious to know what each of us Valentine's Day experience has been. So I'm curious to know what your best Valentine's Day was, like what activity, walk me through it, and what your worst Valentine's Day was. And I'll go ahead and I'll get us started. Let's start with the good, because positivity first.
Right.
So my best Valentine's Day was actually last year in 2023. It was done on a whim. It was someone that I've been smashing boots with for a while.
Here's the sound effects.
So I know that I was gonna get a good sleep afterwards. And I was like, hey, you got a Valentine's? They're like, no. I said, well, I ain't got one. So we each other Valentine's Day.
Okay.
Before Valentine's, we did a little pre-date, you know, just to make sure everything was still good. And then for Valentine's Day, I did the planning. I took the initiative because there's a part of me that wanted to control what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I booked the restaurant, got the flowers, got the little gift, did all of that. But throughout the whole day, I made it look like I wasn't going to do that. And then even when I pulled up at the restaurant, at first they thought it was a little locale restaurant. Nah, baby, they fell in love. They was like, I can't believe you did this. And me in my head, I was like, go on, baby. Hour and a half till we go. And it was a beautiful night. Got back home, gave each other massages. And I remember the person saying that's the first time that they had a massage in an intimate context. I was like, yeah, I give everybody massages started off. That's like my go-to. And they never had a massage. So we did all of that. And that Valentine lasted 3 days. So
Oh wow.
it just kept on going.
Sounds like a vacation.
It definitely does.
So yes, Buffy, what was your best Valentine's Day?
Why do I gotta go? Because I mean, it was good, but it was also traumatic because I'm not with that person
We're
anymore.
talking about the positivity, the good one. We'll separate the positive from the negative.
I'm sorry. I had to get my items or whatever, my technology together. It was dying out. But anyway, the positivity. I remember having a Valentine where my significant other at the time decided to grab my favorite meal and decided to just pre-plan it. Didn't ask any questions. I actually came home to seeing all of these things put together, which I thought was impressive. And we were able to actually just have an intimate moment. It wasn't going out, having to deal with the crowd, having to deal with people. It was just us. So we were in tune with one another, and we had a good meal, and we had a good night with massages, of course, because I'm a big pleaser. First of all, I like to get into character, okay? Just a TMI about me. So I like to get into a different character besides Buffy. So at that night, I think I was Desiree, the masseuse, who came in and actually had a tropical masseuse parlor, and I definitely had him impressed when he got out the shower with a nice hot oil massage. So I think that was like my best Valentine's Day because we both enjoyed.
Okay.
And that lasts for 2 days.
Oh, thank you. And Ardia?
I would have to say my best Valentine's Day was probably about couple years ago. Actually, I was dating this young lady. This Valentine's Day wasn't extravagant like the ones that you guys had, but it was more so on the, I guess, like more smaller side, I guess. So we ended up going to dinner the night before, and she works a weird shift at FedEx. So I ended up staying in her apartment. She went to work, came back. Sis came back with a bag with like a card, these heart socks, a ring pop, a fake rose, a balloon. And I just thought it was the sweetest thing ever. Like, I feel like thoughtful gifts or like minimalistic gifts are like the most heartfelt like gifts ever. Like, I don't need the big stuff. So to see that she did that, I think was the sweetest thing ever. And yeah, that Valentine's Day last week.
Okay.
So it
Not,
was
not bad. A day and a half, 2 days, and 3 days. Well, look at me being an overachiever.
Right.
And not all things is positive. My least desired as of yet Valentine's Day was actually my first relationship. air quotes because those are the ones in common. But this is the first one I was present in. So I had a boyfriend, but I had a boyfriend through Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's. And for people that's dated, we know those be the hard times to get someone through the holiday.
Yep.
So once we got to February, I was like, okay, baby, we is good. We ain't got to worry about who's gonna be who's Valentine's Day. It's gonna be us. And I remember right before Valentine's Day. So at the time, that person that I was dating, they used to do drag. And they used to always be like, "Babe, can you come out to one of my shows on Sunday?" Now, I was going to school at the time, college, so I was like, I can't make it to New York City to get to the show on Sunday and then make it back to school on Monday. That's going to mess up my class. So I really wasn't able to make it that Sunday. And Valentine's Day was like the Tuesday. Anywho, I thought for sure I was going to have to make it up by Tuesday. Valentine's Day came. He called, told me we broke up.
Oh.
I said, what? He said Sunday when I missed the show, there was somebody else there that told him how gorgeous and lovely he looked and that he was going to move on with that person.
Listen.
Right while I was still stuck at school. I was so sad. It took me 6 months. 6 months to get over the relationship until I went to New York for Gay Pride. I saw him with one black eye, and he had lost half his weight. I was like, "Oh, the same guy you left before kicking your ass? Okay, be blessed. I won. It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay." And it's so funny that every time people feel like they're having a one-up on you, to go to the next partner is always going to be greater, right? And I'm not saying it won't be greater because it takes time.
It could be. Right.
But off of the strength of how you do me, karma and the atmosphere and the universe don't sleep. So
well, balance it out, baby. Balance it out.
It's like a boomerang. If you throw it out there, it's going to come back to you. But talking about coming back, we're going to take a 30-second break, and then we will jump back in with my the negative Valentine I have experienced, and then we're going to roll it over to Ardia. So 30 seconds, we'll be back. All right, now we are back. Thank you for continuing to join the BCC show. So, all right. So let me jump into my negative Valentine.
Not negative. Your least desired Valentine's Day experience.
Okay, so I'm not even going to stay long on this topic because I didn't like it at all, okay? The nigga had fucking Chinese food when I got in from work. He had the cheapest fucking gift from the dollar store. And the nigga was just sitting there looking all crazy. I'm sorry for using the word nigga, but it's Black History Month. So nigga. I did not like the shit, okay? It was horrible. I don't even want to dwell on it. Next. Ardia, it's your turn.
All right. I ain't trying to sound like a bitter Betty, but if I had to really sum it up, I would think this Valentine's Day was the worst day. Was the worst one.
Which? What do you mean? Right now, today, currently?
Today, as we speak, it's going on.
So this is live. This is live.
This is live.
Okay.
Basically, I don't even want to give people too much clout, but it's just, I don't even know how to say this.
It's okay. It's a safe place.
Oh, no. It's just I'm trying to get the proper wording. At this point, it's just like we're not together. We're separated. But then it's like, I still have to see you, which is trash. It's like, why are you here? Why are you not gone? It's Valentine's Day. I'd rather be with somebody else. Why are you here?
So you're talking about an unanchored ship that's just drifting with the tide, not going anywhere, but constantly sagging back and forth.
Mhm. So it was just that, I think this Valentine's Day kind of opened my eyes to really realizing like, hey, you are now a single woman. Like for me, is somebody bedtime?
I know I'm sorry. That's my reminder.
It's just a eye opener for me. Like, okay, this is your first Valentine's as a single woman. Embrace it. So that's how I feel about this. It's the worst, but I get through it. Couple more sips. I get
Oh,
through it.
and you will be fine.
Of
Honestly,
course.
I don't even know what are okay. So every time I kind of idolize, like, what would be my perfect Valentine, it's really not going out. It's really kind of you planning and thinking and knowing me and figuring out what would actually wow me, right? Because
Mhm.
to me, I feel like it's so traditional to actually go out to these restaurants, wait online, to spend all this expensive money on a meal that you're probably not even going to like, to come home and do what you did last night, but we just got a paid dinner that was involved today.
And some
I,
lingerie.
and some lingerie, which I mean, the Americans is winning. Like when it comes to Valentine, because I definitely gave my son a great Valentine's. Like he had balloons, he had
Mhm.
clothes, he had everything today just to make him feel good. But it's like you're spending all this unnecessary money to feed the economy, but is it meaningful behind it? I mean, to him.
It is meaningful.
Mhm.
Valentine's Day, like you're just describing, from parent to children, children to parent, brother to sister, family. I think the overall concept of Valentine's Day is just showering, people you love with love. Most of the time, the focus is on that intimate love,
Mhm.
but it's, if your friend that you like or so, you shower them with Valentine's. One of the things that I find actually interesting is that for all three of us, we live in the United States. So in the United States, our population breaks down to 162 million men.
Mm.
Whereas, on the other hand, it's 167 million women. So
Ooh,
just off the top, we got 5 million more women.
this is why I don't have a
That
man
that that
now.
just that just automatically, they not go unless they date each other. They're not gonna have a traditional Valentine.
Right.
And if we go back to the population of men, the way that breaks down is right off the top, 30% is gay.
Off rip. I
Off
agree. Off rip.
and then there's a 20% that's DL. So if you calculate it correctly,
That's
that's
30 to 20.
50%, and we about to get through the other 50%.
Right.
On the other 50%, 30% of those guys are married. Those are the married couple. The other 20% that we left with, you have 10% that's single, and the other 10% is single but complicated.
I'm like, God, if you don't want me to be with nobody, just say that. Because it's like, let's say that. I'm tired. I'm tired, God.
Listen.
Because all the newbies that's coming through are not, it's so bad that all the newbies that is coming across my path actually have me appreciating my baby daddy. And I don't even like him at all. So if that's even a considerate thought, then I know I should stay by myself.
It's the sassy man apocalypse.
It is.
These men,
It's
they want to be chased. They want to
No,
be
no,
courted.
no,
yes.
no,
They
no.
want to, they
as
want to
as
be
the
chased.
only male here, right? I think what happened,
Mm-hmm.
I think when females started asking, rightfully so, for equal pay, excluding that, but when females started saying they wanted to be treated equal and equality, I think
Mm-hmm.
the guys decided, okay, well, I don't have to be as tough or as a macho anymore. I could be equally soft. I could be equally beautiful. I could be.
To an extent.
But
Because listen, it's to an
I didn't say
extent.
nothing. I didn't say
Because
nothing.
you can be an emotional man. You could be you can have emotional sensitivity.
Right.
That's fine. There's a thin line in
Thin.
being emotional, being emotionally aware. Let's say that. Emotionally aware and sassy. There's a thin line.
give
Like,
give me an example because I
Well,
like to know what line I'm
go ahead,
working with.
Buffy. Go ahead, Buffy.
women are the new men. Period. Period.
And are we talking?
We are
Hold on,
out there.
hold on. Are
What?
we talking about earning? Let's say we go back
Okay.
50 years,
Let's
men
go
was
back.
earning more. Now,
Okay.
if we push, fast forward currently, we have our females doing a lot of leading and making a lot more
Right.
compared to some of their counterparts.
Right, but it's so bad. Like, okay, so I grew up in a two-parent household, right? So I'm just going off of my experience.
Okay.
Two-parent household, father was the lead of that household. Anything he said went. He paid the bills. I've never seen my mom pick up a bill where she said, "Oh, I have to pay this with my paycheck." No, it was her account, his account, and the joint account. And the joint account took care of the home and the children, right? Nevertheless, my father was a man that worked multiple jobs. He never cried about it, he never complained about it. It was just what he was supposed to do because it was the principle that he embedded it when he was younger. What I've been seeing, or maybe what I've been running into, are these men that wants to be coddled because they have mommy issues and they never had that love from their mothers, where when they meet a strong compassionate woman like myself, they gravitate to me, so they tend to hold on because they want that love. But then when we go into hard times, who has to figure out these hard times? That woman. Because not only is that woman coddling you to safety and health, but also have to be on the front line to make sure things are making sense within and out the household. So women like myself, and I'm going to classify myself as an alpha female because I am a strong Black woman who tends to work multiple jobs to take care of my child, and I don't depend on anybody, but I do that because I have a father that is involved with my child say silly stuff as, "Oh, I gave you $200 and the bill is $100. I need you to send back $100." Sir,
And that's when
what?
you get blocked.
Right. It's an instant block and delete for me because it's like, sir, not only is your $200 matching my $400, and let me tell you how my $400 oversee your $200. The kid has to eat. He has to be sheltered. He has to be clothed. He has to be taken care of. He has to have medical expenses. He has to have recreational. It goes on and on. So that $2 outside of what the mom has to provide and make sure she protects this child has to always be on the front line. There's no negotiation.
I wanted to jump in just real quickly and bring out to you and continue to add to. You stated a few points earlier in your conversation where you said that men have experiences and or trauma linked from their mother, and now it's being manifested in their present romantic relationship.
Listen,
I actually, before you finish your train of thought, I wanted to say that is very, very true. Like, for example, I am pure victim of it. Sometimes people talk about whether or not being gay or being LGBTQ is a choice. For me, no, it wasn't a choice, but there was one point where it definitely was a choice because I hated every woman that was taking care of me because they were young. Looking back, giving them grace, they were all young. They were young teenage, young 20-year-old women. They were angry. All the stuff you guys are going through in terms of nigga ain't shit. They were dealing with the same thing.
yeah.
So I was one of those child that they was raising, and they used to yell, scream, and threaten me, and Death was around the corner. I'll knock you into next week. So once I grew up, I was like, yeah, nah, I don't want that. I want peace. Now, peace for me was just simply not knowing. I never had that experience, whether it was with someone Hispanic, Latino, someone a little bit lighter or darker than me, someone from a different culture. But for me, because I didn't know it, that became my peace. So after a while, I just said, to hell with that. I'm looking at no particular kind of people. And through years of therapy, it helped me to identify, yes, that was a past. We already discussed how many females they are. That doesn't mean that all of them are going to be that same. That
Yeah, but you
experience is limited.
said you said therapy. You said therapy.
Well, I have health insurance.
Coach Chemo.
It's another topic for another time.
I was about to say, Artie, go ahead and jump in, because the thing about it is that's important. You see what you mentioned, therapy, and there's so much pride that's blocking the trauma that they could get resolved. But no, they just continue to keep involving themselves with women after women after women just to save themselves. And they're really traumatizing the woman, because the women think they're doing a good job of trying to be that woman, solid
healer, helper, savior.
Because that's what I saw. I saw my mom basically have my father's back because he was the protector and the provider. But we're doing that for these men that don't deserve that, or maybe not that they don't deserve it, but it's timing for everything. Like once you heal and get through your trauma of what you experienced when you were younger, then come holler at me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna hear what Ardia got to say about that.
So actually, I'm gonna have to jump on the other side of being a strong female and having a partner, a man who doesn't know how to be a leader, doesn't know how to provide, doesn't know how to be a protector. It forces us as well, let me not say us, me as a woman, it forced me to be that provider, to be that protector. And it gets draining because it's like, where do I find time to be soft? Where do I find time to let my guard down and be like, okay, you know what? I don't got to worry about that.
You safe.
My man got that.
Safe.
I'm good. Now, me as a woman, I got to sit here because it doesn't make any sense to be in a relationship with a whole man and I'm still doing the things I'm doing when I was single. So what are you here for? What are you here for? Because if I could take care of myself, if I could provide for myself, if I could protect myself, because, women out here, we got weapons, we know how to fight. If I could protect myself, provide for myself, be my own safe space, what are you here for?
Sounds like you need to take a word from Miss Beyonce. To the left, to the left.
All the way to the left. That's the thing.
Right where the river is at. That left.
People who have issues or have unresolved trauma, myself included, should not be dating. If you cannot dig deep into those childhood traumas, adulthood traumas, if you can't dig in and figure out where it really roots from and fix that, you should not be out here dating. Because there's a lot of men out here who grew up having moms that took care of them, so they don't know how to take care of themselves, or have mothers that didn't take care of them and they had to survive basically on survival mode all the time. So those people who are in survival mode don't really know how to love. And the ones who had their mother, they don't know how to love either, because they know how to love, but it comes with conditions. Because now, okay, my mom is not taking care of me anymore, so you got to do it. Slavery's over, brother. Slavery's over. So it's just a never-ending cycle of things, and it's just it gets draining having to reiterate the same things over and over and over and over. It's just better to be single. Less stress, less headache, less arguing, less disappointment. You're better off single, because there's no reason why I'm in a whole relationship and I'm doing everything that I was doing when I was single. not even a break. No, that's not gonna work.
I think that's a good I think that's a good example from all of us to just highlight that we have different, similar, conjoining experience, but these experiences help us to develop a profile of things we definitely absolutely want and definitely something we don't want. What I definitely hear you just identify is to state that you don't want to be in a relationship in which you don't feel present. You feel as though you're alone. So if you don't take anything away from the experience, you just definitely take that moving forward. You want a relationship in which you feel, together, you feel coupled. I think that's a good time for us to just give our best relationship advice, best Valentine advice for anyone that might be looking for it. I think for me, mine is going to be get in the game, right? You cannot expect to have any kind of experience if you're not in the game. And whether that is going to Bible study, or that is jumping online, or that's going to your little coffee shop, or being present sometimes means being alone, but being alone, understanding that you're choosing to be alone for a particular period, that also counts because you're healing your own self. So when that time comes for you to go to the coffee shop and go to these other activities that I just discussed, you're able to be your best self. So for me, I would just say be present and enjoy it. When you go out to a space, you don't have to marry the person, but go out, get dressed, smell good, look beautiful. Maybe this person is a dud and you end up meeting somebody else at the bar. Don't start at the bar and then go to your date. Start with your date, and then if it don't work, slide over to the bar. And with that being said, have fun responsibly. Yours,
I'm
Buffy?
I'm glad that you said that because that is my whole Friday night that you just pitched, that I will be taking myself out to a date and actually loving on me. So I would say my advice is self-preservation, learning what you are capable of doing, learning more about you. Sometimes a silent room, you get into deep thoughts and you start to evaluate yourself. Like we tend to always work on a day to day. We are busy. We're doing like everyday life. But sometimes we have to, not even sometimes, I challenge you to do that on a daily basis. Even if you are journaling, like I'm getting clinical now, even if it's time to journal one thing that you love about yourself or one thing you want to correct or fix about yourself, you should challenge that because you can't be good for no one if you're not good for yourself. And gradually, with me learning that, it's still a learning process. It's an everyday learning process on my good and bad. So I would say to everyone, self-preservation, learn and study yourself because you're trying to get an A for yourself so you could be A1 for that next significant other. So that's my tip.
And yours, Ardia?
I would say have boundaries and stick to your boundaries because as I've learned that sometimes you can tell someone, "Hey, these are my boundaries." And once they cross that boundary and you let them slide, they already know that you don't stand on business. You go back and you go back on everything, and they can always try you, and they will always try you because they know you don't stand on your boundaries. And those boundaries that you stand on will save you a whole lot of heartbreak later on. And that's what I got to say about that.
And that's a good way to wrap. As always, we want to thank you for joining us today to the BCC podcast. I'm your host, Coach Kivo.
Buffy and
And
our guest, excuse me, Ardia. Thank you for joining us. It was a pleasure having you. Hopefully, we'll have you on the next show. Continue to tune in to our Instagram page, the BCC Show One on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. Thank you. Ciao.
Bye.